Hello YouTube, this is the Bucket coming at you today with my box Colt Frontier Scout. This is a 62 model, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about the historical relevance, the history of this particular gun, the specs, what I thought about shooting it, and where this fits in the collector's market. So, back in 1956, Colt decided to re-release their classic single-action army design. And they retailed it for around $125, which is getting close to about $2,000 in today's money. And they realized that there would be a portion of people that would purchase it, but they wanted to come up with another idea that might be able to get some different buyers into buying it. And so they came out with the Frontier Scout. And this is a 22 or 22 mag single action army copy of their classic revolver design. And this is the one that I picked up. Now, I paid $600 for this one because it had the box and the manual. It's in really good shape, and it came with 450 rounds of 22 Magnum ammunition, and I love 22 Magnum. It's nothing more fun than ending your range trip shooting a pop can with 22 Magnum. So let's go ahead and let's look at this. So this is the box that you get. They actually only released this box for I think 1 year, and so it's kind of a collectible box. I do like the fact that they used really good cardboard on this box, and you can see that they just used high quality products. You can see here it says the Frontier Scout 62 for $59.50. It shows that they have a new heavy frame, and it has the new midnight finish. We'll talk a little bit about the midnight finish here in a minute. You can see that you had a good manual with cardstock. It actually gives you the exploded view of the thing. It tells you how to maintain your gun, how to disassemble your gun, and tells you a little bit about your gun. The single action army has a unique battery of arms, so they explain exactly how that works. And again, this was, this is in the 1950s and 60s. Westerns were really, really popular on the movie and on the TV screen. So lots of people wanted a gun that would look like their classic favorite antagonist or favorite good guy on their favorite TV show. So this is the manual. Now you will see that it is on this corrugated board, and up here you can see mine has torn a little bit, and that's because when you lift it up, you see how it just kind of catches a little bit, and so that is not uncommon for that to happen on your original box design. But there it is. That's what it looks like. And $59.50, when I put it in the Google conversion, that comes out to around $614 marked for inflation. So you will see there's actually a kind of whole series of these. There's the single action army, excuse me, the new Frontier. Both of those had steel frames. You also had the bunt line, which would have a much longer barrel. And then you have what I have here, which is the Frontier Scout, and it will have the regular alloy frame. So the first thing you do is you need to kind of understand the battery of arms. So when you have this, when you click it all the way, you'll actually hear 4 different clicks as you won't go through. The first one is the safety click that kills your trigger. The next one is the half cock, and this is how you can then check your gun to see if it is unloaded. Because you'll see with this particular design, there is not much to be able to see whether or not your gun is loaded or not. You can tell that this has good Colt quality. Just everything's real tight. Everything matches up really, really well. So the 62 had this ZMAC frame. If you look down here at the bottom, and I don't know if it'll show up on my camera here. Let's see if it'll come up. Mine has a P serial number, and actually you can tell a lot about your gun by that serial number letter. So if it's Q, it's an aluminum frame with a blued barrel. If it's an F, it's with a aluminum and anodized blue with the blued barrel. The K has the ZMAC finish with a nickel barrel, and then the P, like I have, is the midnight blue. I think this is the one that looks the best. The problem is with these finishes with the midnight blue, this was excuse me, this was early on in aluminum or alloy, usage, and they hadn't figured out exactly how to get the finish to stick well. So you will see a lot of these where they have flaked particularly bad. On mine, it isn't flaking, but you can kind of see here that this scratch that it picked up over the years, that alloy frame just pops. You can really see it and makes it a little bit uglier. So if you want to go with a single action Army, which will have a case hardened frame, or even the new Frontier that'll have an all steel frame with the case finish, you know, I can understand why you would want to do that. I will tell you that it's got the rear sight is just a trough with a big, large blade. Let's go ahead and let's talk about the specs of this particular gun. So again, this is mine is a 22 Magnum revolver. They came in 22 long rifle or 22 Magnum. Your capacity is going to be 6+0. The overall length of mine, because it's a 4-inch, is 10.25 inches. The barrel length is 4.75 inches. The width comes in at 1.48 inches. The height comes in at 5 inches. And the weight is going to come in at 31 ounces. Taking these out to the range is just so much fun. Single action is kind of a unique battery of arms that a lot of people are not, you know, maybe they aren't as used to that as they could be, but it's just fun. It fits in the hand great. You could take a young person out and you could teach them some of the gun safety that you want to ensure that they can shoot well. It's, you know, at that 20-yard range, 20 yards or in, you know, you're going to have a lot of accuracy with this. I had no problem ringing steel all day long with this at 6-inch, 8-inch, 12-inch, 14-inch steels. As you can see from my Infinite Defense Infinity target here, you know, I was shooting at that 2-inch by 3-inch box, and you can see I got really, really good accuracy. So it's just an absolute pleasure. Now, you can see that this was always the gun that was kind of designed that a lot of companies competed with. So you had Ruger had the single 6, you had the Colt Frontier Scout, you had a lot of German companies that are like RG that had brought in different guns, and they could compete with them. So, you know, these were very, very popular because of the grips, because of the finish, because of the high quality that you see. And the unique thing about these are a lot of people bought these to just take their son or their grandson out shooting with. And so you'd go out once a year, you'd shoot 50 to 100 rounds, and then it would go right back in the box, go right back in the closet. And so finding cased examples, kind of like mine, in this shape is just not that hard to do. And if you're a budding Colt collector, this could be a really good first collectible Colt purchase, because again, you can get into these for $500 or $600 with the box, with the manual. You know, I got lucky that mine's in as nice a shape as it is, but you know, you can get one that really still looks nice, and you can get all of the accoutrement for collecting and still have something you can go out with and, you know, shoot with your kids, with your nieces and nephews. It can be a lot of fun. And again, I like the 22 mag. Now, they did come up with what they called convertibles, where some of the boxes came with a 22 long rifle and a 22 mag cylinder. Mine was just the 22 mag cylinder. I have heard that you can actually buy aftermarket cylinders to get a 22 long rifle and then have it fitted. For me, I love my Woodsman. I'm probably going to shoot my Woodsman with my 22 long rifle and then just take this out to blow up some pop cans at the end of a range trip, like I did on this most recent range trip. So I really enjoy this. I'm so glad I got it. I'm at a good price point that I think I might even get to keep this one long term and pass it down to one of my daughters or one of my grandchildren at some point. So I do want to thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. All the likes, the comments, the shares, they're really, really appreciated. And as always, you stay classy, YouTube. Little middle baby bucket, do you want to live in California?
No!
Why?
Because I'm not a communist.